Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Barbarian and we have returned here to Crusader Kings 2 and that with the wonderful historical immersion project mod. Now this playthrough will be a bit different from what you usually see on this channel. You see HIP so often here, but what you don't see are two things, and that is first of all building tall and second of all being in a situation where we focus on learning. Never have I on this channel focused on learning. You know, we always go martial, we always go intrigue. One of these two really most of the time, sometimes diplomacy, stewardship very rarely, but never learning. And we're going to turn this around. We're going to become the most learned family ever created. And I looked around, you know, as to where we should play and what we should do, and I figured, you know what, let's play in a region in which we have been very unlucky. I've played there twice, if I don't misremember, and both playthroughs ended in me just having to quit on them. The first one was in April when we played in Catalonia. I lost the save because my hard drive, you know, essentially told me, nope, I'm out of here. And then the other one was when we played the good old, you know, also in HIP of course, but the good old Carthaginians, and all of that went up in flames, you know, when it came about that the mod is a bit too buggy. So, what are we going to do here? We're going to start in 1018 and we're going to start in Iberia. I want to be a part of this rich subcontinent's history, and we're going to start in 1018 because the Al-Hamudi dynasty just took over from the Umayyads in, you know, what remains of the Caliphate of Cordoba, and we are going to play in Sevilla. Wali Muhammad of Sevilla of the house Al-Abbadi. The Al-Abbadi were people that after the Caliphate of Cordoba fell, were essentially one of the strongest, if not the strongest faction in the south of Iberia, and that is exactly what I want to achieve now. You know, there's a lot of stuff in here, don't worry too much about it. I want to achieve this, but I will tell you, I don't need to blob. All we need to do is just, you know, essentially lead a good life. Let's hope that we get a good education from the start. I read up a bit about this region and about this time, and it is quite interesting. So let me give you a bit of a short introduction. If you are an expert in this region, if you are from this region, or, you know, if you've just read up on it for no reason whatsoever, then definitely feel free to, in the comments, also, you know, give more information or correct information that I gave that was incorrect. Now, if you've never played, just to say this, if you've never played HIP, first of all, hey, install that mod immediately and play it. It is so much more in detail than vanilla CK2. But what is very, very important is essentially HIP is different when it comes to how factions work, when it comes to how the map works, and when it comes to how religions work, but we will see that in time. Now we start as Wali Muhammad of Sevilla. We're only 34 years old. We already have Abbad ibn Muhammad, our son, 2 years of age, and we are, a misguided warrior. That is horrible. A novice fighter, kind, arbitrary, ambitious, erudite. Man, we are not the best person. Now, historically speaking, he was pretty decent, but these were times of upheaval because, and you will be able to tell that right here, this is the Imara of Al-Andalus, and it used to be in the hands of the, you know, former caliphate, the Sultan, oh, he's just a sultan, huh? They were the caliphates before they were thrown out, I guess, in 750 by the Abbasids over here, who no longer are any factor. And the way it works is essentially the Umayyads ruled over Iberia, or rather, you know, most of Iberia for the longest time. And then they started to crumble, they started to shift out, and who took over? Of course, no one else but the Al-Hamudi dynasty. They got rid of Suleiman, then Ali came in and now Al-Qazim rules there, and they are Zaidi. The Zaids are a Shia group that believe that the elite imams are not infallible, but are divinely inspired and have a responsibility to lead rebellion against corrupt authority. And while they, you know, are Zaidi, we are still Sunni. We have some Ibadi here running around as well. Ibadism is distinct from both Shia and Sunni Islam. Ibadis believe that souls condemned to hell will stay there forever. Ibadis also reject the notion that Muslims will get to see Allah on the day of judgment. So we got a very, very splintered, a very multicultural realm going on. Of course, you know, even here the Al-Siri dynasty, so the Zirid Sultanate, is also present, although of course this has nothing to do with the immediate Sultanate, because the Sultanate is somewhere far down the line. There you are, the Al-Siri dynasty. Yeah, and he is technically, I guess, the head of the dynasty, despite being a child. And we are going to go ahead, and we are going to try our best to stick to Sunni Islam, to make, you know, come true what our ambitions want to have. And we're going to make sure that we have a right to bring that claim, you know, because essentially the Al-Hamudi dynasty is of course fairly new. They don't really have a claim to legitimacy, but you know who does? Well, a very unique, a very interesting historical person who I don't know that much about, but, and if I can find her, that would be absolutely outstanding. I know where she is. If I can't find her on this list, then I will just have to take a look at the actual court. Yeah, we'll have to do that, don't I? Damn, sometimes she does show up there. Alright, we are going to marry ourselves immediately to Walláda al-Umawi. one of the last Umayyads. You can see that here, you know, Umayyad dynasty has 4 members. She is one of the 4. And her father would later on, after the Hamudi dynasty would fall, would become, you know, the Sultan, or I guess the Caliph of the Umayyads until 1031, when they ultimately fell and she had to go into exile yet again. Walláda is a very interesting personality. You can see she has she has plenty of predetermined traits. And she's quite interesting because she was a poet, and she was a lady that had so much influence. She, you know, mocked essentially her lover, her liege. She mocked everyone, and at the same time was very different from what was expected from her. You know, she was walking around essentially in the garbs of someone in the harem of the Abbasids over here, you know, in Baghdad. And that, of course, was frowned upon over here in the Umayyad Caliphate. And we're going to marry her. She is a great match. She doesn't have any claims or whatever, but she clearly, come on, man. You know, one of the last Umayyad relatives. We will marry into her. She even has her own Wikipedia link right there. We will marry into the Umayyad family, and hopefully we'll gain some, you know, influence, I guess, in the region. Now, we are fairly mediocre. I mean, misguided warrior, novice fighter, kind, arbitrary, ambitious, and erudite. That is awful. You know, we are still, I think the ambition is going to carry us forward, but by the gods, we are not in a good state, let me tell you straight up. I would love to become a duke. You know what, I think that fits, but let's get married first, because we can do that immediately, of course. And then I think we will focus on probably, I want to say war. Now, we are going to go, of course, with learning, but I don't think initially. Because we do need to have some power base before anyone will turn around and be ready to just say, you know what? I will focus on studying whatever is going on and, you know, learning more about the world. They would surely, you know, essentially make a decision towards having to live, or rather having to overthrow everyone around them so that they are not threatened. Nobody that is threatened or, you know, could lose the very basis of their existence starts studying the world. I don't think that's how that goes. Ooh, I just inherited a mosque immediately, really. You know, was it even a mosque? What's my symbol? This is my symbol. Yes, it was a mosque. I could hold on to that. We don't really, you know, there's really nothing negative about it. Of course, I am not even a duke, meaning I can't change my domain limits. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that away. Mosque of San Lucar La Mayor. There you go, create a new vassal, and that is that. We need a new chancellor. Absolutely you, my friend. And I would like some claims. Don't get me wrong here. I would like some claims. We are Andalusian, is this correct? Yes, we are Andalusian, meaning I believe that the Berbers, yes, they can actually raid infidel neighbors for loot. Now, I can't actually raid, seeing as I am not one of them. I'm an Andalusian. You know what, that is fine and good. And we have been married to Walláda bint Muhammad. See, what you need to know is that this lady was described as the absolute, you know, picture book beauty that could have existed at the time. She did have blue eyes, much like she does here in HIP. I'm not sure that she has that in vanilla as well, but look at that. She was described as an absolute gorgeous woman. Absolutely gorgeous woman, I meant to say there. And I think we're going to use her expertise in, you know, being a poet and being as incredibly smart as she is in, you know, flexing her muscles, I guess. Being stronger. Ooh, I could try to become the king, but honestly, I don't see that. At least not yet. Let's try to become the duke first. Could I theoretically? Yeah, I can't even plot, can I? You know what, let's gonna hunch. That is what we do first. You have started to prepare yourself for going on a pilgrimage to Mecca. Soon you will humble yourself and travel in a group with others to fulfill one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Hello, my child. How are you doing, by the way? Why don't I teach you in thrift? Thrift is always good, and I would like you to be educated by someone with a high learning stat. Ooh, Mubashir. I like that. See, absent-minded and ugly cannot become traits of our son, so I feel like that is actually fine. I wish Walláda was educated in, you know, theology, but here we are. All are equal in front of God, obviously. During this evening's council meeting, Shahib al-Shurta, at least that's how I think it's pronounced, Tahir told us of a rumor he had encountered. The peasants speak of an artifact hidden not far away from here. The specifics of Tahir's information are uncertain, but perhaps this would be worth investigating. You know what, sure, here's the ambition, maybe we can find something, you know, that legitimizes our rule even further. You have to understand that the taifas at the time, so the independent realms of Muslim lords and principalities and whatnot, are essentially in a state of abstract, you know, autonomy. And abstract, just cut the word out. I was meant to say abstract chaos there, but it wasn't really chaos, you know, it's not like there was anarchy or anything going on, but it certainly was less ordered or orderful than it was when the Umayyads were at their height, you know, in 867 and so on and so forth. Or in their height here, over here in just Iberia, of course, you know, after losing the Caliphate to the Abbasids, all of that changed a bit for them. Now, the Abbasids right now are also incredibly weak, and I actually have to... I swear, they're somewhere here. You know what, let me actually take a look. We have the... There he is, Khalifa Al-Qadir. Oh, he just sits there. He just lives there. He just holds the Mosque of Baghdad. Oh, I gotta tell you, that is embarrassing, Khalifa Al-Qadir. That is awful for you, and he may very well lose it if this person, Ustander Ayesha, at some point, at any point, decides that he wants to have control over his entire county. The Caliphs have fallen, and maybe we can make our own way up there. You know, we are married to Saeed, of course. This character is patrilineally descended from the Prophet Muhammad's uncle, Al-Abbas and Abu Talib, or from the sons of his daughter Fatima, Hassan ibn Ali and Hussein ibn Ali. And look at us, we are marrying that, meaning that if we have a son with her, and that son becomes our heir, that son will be a Mirza, meaning he will at the very least, you know, get recognized for being not patrilineally descended, but matrilineally descended at that point. Anyway, I'm now fully prepared for my travel to Mecca. Let's go. Your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I've been appointed as your regent. Of course you have been. You know what? Speaking of wisdom and stuff like that, I barely, if ever, give out these minor titles, but I think we shall start it. Mubashir, I like him. He's going to bring up my son, of course. You know, that's a good thing. Cupbearer, court musician, court poet. Oh, can I do that to my wife? Absolutely not, huh? None of you are poets, but you are a genius. Where did you come from? Jesus. Chief architect? You know what? Sure. Let's bring in a chief architect. Chief architect is responsible for designing and overseeing the construction of palaces, mosques, and grand monuments. We have anyone... See, you know what? I actually like the idea of a fortune builder doing that. Sure, you know? You can be the chief architect. I will never see that man again, but I tried with the minor titles, god damn it, I tried. You are fortunate to encounter a large, well-guarded caravan heading to the same direction as you. After joining with him, you encounter several bandit groups as you journey forward, but they all scatter at the side of the caravan, preferring instead to prey on smaller bands of pilgrims. Cowardly scum. We gain prestige. Very, very nice. We need some piety so that we can actually start some conquest wars, but here we are. Shaib al-Shotata here has uncovered several clues indicating that Captain Kankuji of the Allen Riders possesses important information regarding the rumored artifact. However, he is unwilling to talk, and Tahir wants more spies transferring from their regular missions to target the captain instead. Dude, I cannot read today. Give me one moment. Now I should be able to read. The artifact is of great importance. You know what? The spies are yours. Not that I'm home to make that decision, but I don't think he would decide otherwise. Nearby, you see how a group of bandits have encircled a group of fellow pilgrims. It is very likely they will rob and kill them. You know what? I'm an erudite. I am somewhat of a fighter and I am ambitious. I'm kind. I think he would like to aid these people. Now, of course, he's not good at fighting, but, you know, won't stop him from trying. Attempt to rescue them. We did not get hurt. Absolutely excellent. As you stop for camping one evening, you notice that an old man in poor clothing has made camp at the same place. The man offers to tell you a hadith he has if you can spare him some bread. Listen to the old man. Absolutely. Tell me a story. The old man says, as related by Al-Tamidi, I said, O Prophet of Allah, will we be held accountable for what we say? He said, may your mother be bereft of you. Is there anything that topples people on their faces into the hellfire other than the jests of their tongues? Alhamdulillah. We just learned some of the wisdom, you know, of the teachings. Now, the interesting part is, there is so much that is in Crusader Kings 2 HIP that isn't in Crusader Kings 2 Vanilla when it comes to the intricacies of the Muslim faith. You know, for example, we have, of course, the specific Ismaili Muslim school over here. Then we have the entire, you know, mess over here with the Ibadi faith and then the Zaidi faith as well. Ooh. Well, he is a Said. I was not aware that he was actually a Said, but there you are. He could claim to become a caliph at some point if he were strong enough, but honestly, I don't know. This is a difficult one. I don't know enough about, you know, Muslim theory just in general. Would I support that man? Would Wali Muhammad support that man? I'm not actually quite certain. I don't think he would, because it's obviously a different school of Islam, but I don't know just how different these schools truly are, you know, how they view each other in detail. As you arrive in Mecca, you start preparing for the evening's prayer when you discover that the water in the well is not entirely pure. This would not be valid water to use for absolution. Perform others nearby ablution. You are now at Kaaba itself and performing the tawaf. 7 circuits you will walk around the black stone, and each time you complete a circuit, you point to the stone and say, in the name of Allah, Allah is great, Allah is great, Allah is great, and praise be to Allah. We can shout at every circuit or only shout the first 3 times. Seeing as he is ambitious, I think he is, you know, prone to become proud as well. He didn't become proud, but you know what? I don't regret picking that. To symbolize the mercy of God, the mercy God had for Abraham, and replacing his son Ishmael with a ram, which Abraham then sacrificed, we perform the Eid al-Adha while at Mecca. Sacrifice a ram or sacrifice a lamb. See, I don't actually know the difference. Like, does it make a theological difference? I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with the piety, I think. The piety is worth more to me than the prestige. And I think that is a good option to pick right there. As you travel back home from Mecca, you encounter a very poor village, where even the richest seem to starve. Must help them. You know what? He's not someone that saves money. He's arbitrary, I suppose, but he always has a kind heart. So I'm definitely going to go with that. I think that sounds perfectly fine. I have returned to my court a changed man. I am truly humbled before Allah, and I know that all men are equal and can live in harmony with each other. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. See, we are now a Hajjaj, meaning that we have indeed undertaken one of the pillars of Islam, and we have returned. And I think now, oh, Jesus Christ, you let in smugglers into my domain. You know what? Really, it's you. Why are you my cousin, my steward? I mean, look at him, he's terrible at it, I guess, you know, he is a valuable vassal of ours, but even so, shouldn't he more be interested in becoming our, what is that even called? Our alim? Well, here we are. Anyway, we've returned, and we have a decent amount of piety now to actually go ahead with some conquest wars, and I think we should start right away. I mean, what is the actual limit here? There are, yeah, we can siege that down. I think we shall do that. You know what, the first war will be risky, but I think it will be all the better once we actually went ahead and conquered this. So, we have returned and will immediately start unifying our possessions down south. Let's immediately walk in there. We do have commanders. I am not a commander. Oh, that is because I am training the troops. I'm the marshal of Amir al-Muminin al-Kazim of the Al-Hamudi Imara. Dude, reading that will always give me some troubles. Now, let's resign from the council because I am busy. I do not want to be there when that nonsense goes down. I need you on that front, thank you very much. Now, we are going to take the river crossing penalty here, and I think we are going to be fine. But that's just a hunch. At the end of the day, you never truly know, do you? I don't think they're gonna have 3... Oh, they just... Are you kidding me? You just wiped them instantly? In the chaos surrounding the Battle of Carmona, my man cornered Muhammad Birzal, who was cut down with ease. The symbols of high rank on his uniform apparently went unnoticed until a soldier stumbled over his corpse. So he just passed away. How many Birzals are there? 3 more living members. 1 lady and 2 men. And that is the rest of the dynasty entirely there. We just accidentally got rid of one of the noblemen. You know, in historical terms, of course, it was fairly uncommon for noblemen actually to fall in battle. And I say fairly uncommon because it did happen. Decidedly so. But at the same time, it was all about, you know, keeping them alive, taking them prisoner, and making negotiations easier. And there you go, we have indeed won, and it was very much decisive. This war will be over in time, and then we will become a new powerhouse to the south of Cordoba. Against maybe, you know, Amir al-Muminin al-Kazim of the Al-Hamudi Imara, and I think I actually said it correctly this time. Maybe we will come out as the absolute leader of whatever else is going on there. Now, we could go for independence here, you know. At the end of the day, it must hurt Countess Walláda here to watch this usurper having taken over the Umayyad realm over there, but I don't know how much I could do for it. You know, I can't reclaim it for her. Obviously, she doesn't have a right to reclaim the title, seeing as she's a woman and doesn't have any right in that regard when it comes to... No, actually, this is not entirely true. I read about her, and she actually... Yeah, she inherited property, I believe, of her uncle. I'm not entirely certain, because there were no other living relatives of that uncle. And she used that money, I believe, to create a library, I want to say. Quite interesting, her life just in general. But obviously, you know, she doesn't have a claim to become the Caliph. Or, well, the Khalifa, I don't know, you know, how you actually declinate that. But she doesn't have any right to, you know, become the lady of all of Iberia and Andalusia, but we shall reclaim it for ourselves. Osuna has fallen before me, and my troops have collected everyone found within. I must now decide the fates of the unfortunate. I assume those are... Some are the women of Wali Muhammad of Carmona. I could take them prisoner, but you know what? I shall not. There has been enough suffering today. There is no difference to me. Those women haven't done anything against me, have they? We can take out the last of the holdings here. Ooh, did you just... Did he just pass away? So the Al-Ziri dynasty ruled over Granada, And now you can see they actually unified the realms. What exactly happened here? You just simply passed away and you had no other living relatives, meaning it fell to the distant line of the Al-Ziri kings. And there you are. The Al-Ziri Sultanate all of a sudden has its grip on Iberia. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan. Maybe we have to support our, you know, Amir here against the Al-Ziri dynasty, but whether he could even do anything is a different question. And the war's over. We have gained another county. Very, very nice. That's what I'm talking about. And so easily as well. I'm going to give you away. This is all the same duchy, yeah? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm going to give you away. And let me actually check. Does anybody hold this? He does. Meaning that he should make me the duke at this point, as far as I'm concerned. But he obviously won't like me, seeing as I am a bit of a... let's just call it, you know, or non-believer. I don't follow his particular school of Islam. And let me just take a look at this. We have the decision here to become a Muslim poet. It is considered a noble achievement in Muslim society to pen Muslim poetry. Indeed, the greatest Muslim poets are counted as heroes, equal to those of military generals and great scholars. Ages greater or equal to 20. I don't have the piety and I don't have any of the interesting traits here that we need. Quick, genius, naive, appeaser, underhanded, rogue. Yeah, that definitely doesn't fit us. We will not become a poet, and honestly, we already married to one. Do we need 2 poets in the family? I don't feel like we do. Oh, Jesus, this killed my entire levy. Oh, that is because I had to give away. Okay, I understand now. This is because I had to give this away. Oh, and my wife Walláda is actually pregnant. Very, very nice. And he made me the duke, you fool. May you live in harmony and contentment. I have decided to grant you the Imara of Sevilla in recognition of your service and your nobility of spirit. What an absolute fool. This means I now have a de jure claim on you, don't I? I do. I absolutely do. Beautiful. Look at this. Amir Muhammad of the Al-Abbadi Imara, and we now have a new vassal, Al-Abbadis. He is Sunni, but he also very much dislikes us. I'm going to put you on the council, I think, as our chief diplomat right here. You are better than, you know, whatever else we have, and you are not very happy, but maybe you can improve relationships with yourself. Now, with that being said... I'm a great duke. See, he is ambitious, but already trying to become the king of the Imara, isn't that a bit much to ask? Then again, he does have kind of a, you know, a bit of a legitimacy boost there by being married to Amira Walláda. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do exactly this. Let's try to push ourselves onto the throne of the emirate that we, you know, so long have been looking at. And I can't believe that the Al-Ziri dynasty is actually over here. That is just, I hate it. You want increased council power. I don't like that either, but, you know, I can't really do anything about it. We don't have the troops to resist here. And I'm not sure that we're ever going to get those troops. Going to take a long time to actually, you know, recover. Other than that, are there any societies that I would like to join? I can't join you because I'm not smart enough, at least I assume so. Yeah, has learning of equal to 10 or higher, and obviously, you know, we are at 4. We're not the smartest light bulb, or the brightest light bulb around, I should say. My Shahib al-Shurta Tahir has sought me out with his concerns regarding the search for the relic. Tahir has asked me to issue a decree allowing his treasure hunters to appropriate the resources and men they need from the local burghers. We'll have your decree. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, and he is not a big fan of mine. I did resign. But now that he's given me this title, you know, made me into an Amir, maybe I do kind of, slowly but surely, you know, support him. Then again, that would definitely clash with our current ambition. For too long, you have restricted the political influence of your vassals. The time has come to give the Majis more power. Submit to this demand peacefully or face the consequences. Rest assured that I have gathered others who are equally upset. You are the only vassal, my friend. You have gathered no one, I can already tell you that much. And I'm thinking... do I go to war with him? I don't think he would do it. This is palace intrigue and we have been outsmarted. I guess I have no choice. The power of the council increases and just like that the council... what? Council power? Oh no, that is what I'm talking about. They now have essentially a decision power over the diplomacy here. And I, of course, want to change this when the time is ripe. I can only do that in 4 years, alright. It is good tradition to have some gossips around a pregnant woman in order to keep her calm and distracted from the tribulations of this delicate time in her life. As Walláda's husband, it is my duty to provide her with the support she needs. We'll have some maids dispatched, absolutely. I'm weak. in comparison, but we have grown in power, and I think that is already very influential. I always knew my ambition would help me reach great places, and to acquire some wealth during the way is always a nice bonus. Gold, diamonds, or... wait. Honestly, I don't get the flavor text there, but that's okay. Mullah Afan burst into your chambers, flanked by several warriors dragging Ifni with them in chains. My Amir, there are many concerned peasants claiming that their children are plagued by nightmares of this man. He's obviously a warlock. What shall be done with him? Ifni, huh? A warlock. He is one of the Berbers that are living in southern Spain, and I'm thinking to myself, historically speaking, Amir Muhammad of the Al-Abbadis Imara had a couple of problems, I think, with the Berbers actually gathering behind one common leader. So I can only guess that he historically wasn't too kind to them in how he treated them, even though, you know, they probably weren't actual warlocks. And I think we're going to go ahead and already try to, you know, keep the Berbers down. Is our vassal, are you a Berber? Yes, he is a Berber, of course. You know, maybe this is a signal of power. We're sending to Wali Muhammad of Al-Abbadis that if you cross me ever again, like you crossed me with the council power, this is what happens to you, my friend. I will tell people that you are nothing but a warlock and belong to be burned on the stake. You know, that being said, we are not making that much money, and my troops, of course, haven't recovered yet. Good God. Where are my troops? A daughter was born to Amir Muhammad of the Al-Abbadis Imara. There you are. Oh, God. Hunchback, sickly, and a Mirza. The mother of this character is a Saida, patrilineally descended from the Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, that sounds about right. But Ailu, honestly, you have not turned out that great. Oh, Walláda is sick as well. That sucks. My court physician, Sheikh Mubashir, is worried about my newborn daughter. You know what? Absolutely take care of her. She may be a bit ugly. Ah. Damn. We lost her. We lost her immediately. It seems as if whatever treatment Sheikh Mubashir administered worked. See... I don't feel like it actually worked. I can't say that this inspires me with confidence in my court physician. Sheikh Mubashir, I mean, come on, man. Alright, either way, we've had a decent start, I will tell you that much. The council, of course, you know, resisted us, but we are now in a situation where we're still married to Walláda, slowly but surely building up a claim for all of Andalusia. Al-Andalus will be under our control before long, and hopefully, you know, that will then make it so that my son, or any son that comes after me and is well educated, you know, can do what he needs to do with the learning. Now, with that being said, I do want to thank the members of the channel that are supporting the channel directly and making this possible as it is. Aaron, Stefan, The Richest T, Snywolf, and Sai. And then, of course, the wonderful counts that are also members. I am Deadpool, Kiamelik 2, and Suspicious Duck. And last but not least, the wonderful, the gorgeous, the strong dukes. Nathan, Herman, Knight of Squires, Kenneth, Eric, the absolute legend, Lexo, and Benedict. Thank you so much for being members of the channel. If you also want to support the channel directly, then check out the join button right under this video, and there you will see the perks and the membership tiers that you can get into. And alternatively, you could also, if you want to buy some Paradox games, use the affiliate link in the description, which allows you to buy the games at, you know, the normal price, except I get a little bit of a share from it, meaning, you know, it doesn't all go to Paradox. With that being said, thank you so much for the support either way, and I hope that this series will become a proper Iberia series and does not need to be abandoned. We have already made great progress. Let's keep it up. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, later, alligator.